Hey now, say now, welcome back to the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty. Back-to-back years, we get a chance to play for the ACC Championship. The team did not show up in last year's game and were blown out by SMU in a game decided before the second half even kicked off. Today, they will have to beat the crown jewel of the ACC for the second time this season. Number 3 Clemson Tigers comes in 11-1 on the year, with their only loss being to this same Stanford Cardinal team. Will they get their revenge, or will they fall short again? It's time to find out and crown an ACC champion. Clemson beat a number of high-ranked teams, including NC State, who will likely be in the playoffs, as well as last year's ACC champion SMU. The winner here will get a first-round bye in the playoffs, and the loser will likely get to host a first-round game. It's time to crown an ACC champ. Dakota Clark boots it deep. Clemson's going to field this one in the end zone, and they're going to kneel it for the touchback, and their offense takes the field first. Keys to the game. Stanford's secondary will be tested as the Tiger receivers are world-class top to bottom and will need to play discipline if they're not going to give up big plays. However, Clemson's going to look to establish the run early, but the Stanford Cardinal is all over it. Sam Mattingly stops Gideon Davison in the backfield for the tackle for loss. Then, on 3rd and 4, Stanford's going to send a blitz. It's picked up. Christopher Vicenya's going to go deep, but TJ Blanco breaks up the pass and it falls incomplete. On Stanford's first drive, they're going to look to get the running back involved in the receiving game, but that's a tackle for loss as Clemson's defense sniffs it out. Stanford then faces a 3rd and 6. McLaughlin comes in motions. Pinto's going to hit him in stride, and he picks up first down yardage to convert the down. They face another 3rd down, this time from the 31. Pinto's going to fake the handoff. He drifts back. He's looking for McLaughlin again, but this time it's broken up and it falls incomplete. Dakota Clark comes on to kick a long field goal, but he pushes it to the left a little too much, and the kick falls no good. Game remains scoreless. Clemson takes over after the missed field goal, facing a 2nd and 11 on the 30-yard line. Stanford's going to send the heat, but Virginia gets enough protection, and he's going to find Donovan Murphy across the middle. He could go all the way. Touchdown, Tigers. 70-yard catch and run, and they strike first. Cardinal now find themselves trailing. Forced to pass on 3rd and 10. Tigers going to get quick pressure up the middle, and Pinto is unable to get the throw away cleanly. Tigers get a stop on 3rd down. They then take over, and with the ball in the 46, Vicenio is back to pass again. Protection holds up. He steps up in the pocket and throws a strike to Murph, open up the middle, and he turns upfield for a big gain. Then get down to the goal line. Ball on the 7. Vicenia takes the snap. With all day to throw, he stands in the pocket, eventually finding tight end Christian Bentancur in the end zone for the touchdown. Clemson extends their lead 14-0 in the second quarter. Cardinal drive again with 7 minutes to play. Pinto's going to send a man in motion. He's going to fake the handoff, look to roll right, but then he's going to find Q Brown on the crossing route. He picks up big yardage for the first down. Later, on 3rd and 13, Pinto's going to take the snap. He's going to drift back before finding tight end Mason Williams on the out route. He outruns the defense, and he gets tackled down at the 20-yard line, extending the drive. Then, on 3rd and 1, Chris Davis looks to cap it off. He gets stopped on the goal line, but he pushes his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Cardinals offense finally gains some momentum, and they put 7 on the board. The Tigers then put together on a drive late in the second. Ball on the 46. Vicenia takes a snap. He gets good protection again, and then he finds Jordan Abangia wide open on the angle route, and he picks up big yardage. But in the next few Stanford plays, their defense buckles down. They're going to send the blitz on 1st and 10, and they're going to come through with 2 guys meeting at the quarterback. Then on 3rd and 16, they send the heat again, and Trey Rolden brings them down for the second sack. Tigers drive stalls, and they're forced to kick a field goal to end the half. 17-7 lead for Clemson going into the break. Donovan Murph has made his presence felt with only 2 catches, but he's beat the defense for chuck yardage and that long catch and run score. Stanford has to come up with some answers. Second half now, Clemson ball on the 46. They're going to take the snap. Visinia's going to fake the handoff. He's going to look to continue to air it out. Dropped it off to Gideon Davis in a short check down. He jukes out a defender, and he turns upfield for nice yardage. Very next play, Stanford's going to send the heat again, and it's going to come through. Free rusher off the edge who comes through for the sack. Defense holds the Tigers to 3. Stanford now down 20-7. Offense not really on track yet. On 3rd and 4, 2 receivers collide into each other, and Pinto's throw falls incomplete, forcing them to punt it back to Clemson. Crucial play as by the receivers, and the quarterback is stunned at this point with how things are going. Stanford's defense needed to pick them up, and they're going to come through. On 2nd and 7, they're going to send the blitz for their 4th sack of the game. Troy rolled in off the edge untouched. Tigers then force into a 3rd and long. Cardinal only send 4 this time. If the pressure doesn't come through, and then Visinia's going to find Nate Leacock in the middle. He spins out a defender on his way for first down yardage. Few plays later, 1st and 10 for the 45. Visinia's going to look for Leacock again, but this time it's intercepted by the defense. Sam Mattingly comes up with it, and he returns it back to the 44. Defense comes up with a big turnover as Clemson was working to extend their lead. Stanford offense needs to get points now. On 3rd and 7, Pinto back to pass. He's going to find his trusted receiver, Jalen Mbakwe, running away from the defense to pick up the first down. One play later, ball in the 22 now. Pinto making some changes at the line of scrimmage. He takes a snap. He's going to drift back and find Pat McCloughan wide open. He's going to sprint for the end zone for the touchdown. Offense capitalizes off the turnover, and they cut the lead to 1 possession late in the 3rd. However, they couldn't cut it to 6 as the extra point try was blocked by Clemson. It's picked up, but the Cardinal lineman was tackled down, keeping the score 20-13. Clemson ball again, feeling the momentum shift a little bit. Visinia is back to pass. He's going to roll right. He tries to dump it short, but it's picked off, and it's intercepted. Jalen Dye-Selman picks it and takes it back to the house. 26-yard pick six, and back-to-back drives. The Cardinals defense comes up with the turnover, and this one is taken to the house, tying the game at 20. We jump ahead, 4th quarter now. Same score, Cardinal ball on the 48. They set up a halfback screen. Chris Davis is going to take the ball. He's going to follow his block, and he's going to spin out of a tackle before taken down at the 34 for a first down. However, the Cardinal drive stalls again. Dakota Clark's going to come on for a long field goal, and he pushes it left, and the kick falls no good. Clemson takes over with a golden opportunity. Ball on the 36. Visinia back to pass. He dumps it off to Donovan Murph, who had a quiet second half, but picks up the first down on that one. However, they then face a 3rd and 14 from the 45. Visinia is back to pass. He tries the quick pump fake, but Trey Rolden comes through for his 4th sack, probably the biggest one of the game, and Clemson's forced to punt it back to Stanford. Ball on the 38 with 1:40 to play. Pinto's going to find tight end Williams across the middle, who picks up the first down. Then, on 2nd and 10, Pinto's going to take the snap from the 47. He looks for Williams on the corner route, who makes a tough catch as he breaks a tackle, and it's taken down at the 34 inside of field goal range. But they face a 3rd and 7 on the 31. Clemson with no timeouts, needing a stop. Pinto's going to drift back before finding Mbakwe, who runs away from the defense and picks up enough first down yardage to extend the drive. Cardinal bleeds the clock down with 2 seconds left. Dakota Clark knocks through the chip shot field goal, but a flag was on the play. The call from the ref was roughing the kicker. Stanford is going to decline, and the field goal stands, and the Stanford Cardinal wins their first ACC title in school history. Their undefeated campaign rolls on and will go into this college football playoff as the number 1 seed in the country. Clemson looked like they were in control of this game through the first half, but the Stanford defense kept their offense into the game, and they were finally able to make some plays late when they needed. Only allowing 301 yards on offense, the defense was shut down in this one. Now, they did give up some big plays early, but they were able to buckle down and kind of keep things in front of them. Not only that, they came up with 2 crucial interceptions in the 3rd quarter that pretty much flipped the game on its head and had Clemson reeling from there. It took a while for Josh Pinto to get it going, but he didn't make any crucial turnovers as he finished with 246 yards and 1 touchdown. The running game was pretty much buckled down. Micah Ford only had 5 carries as he dealt with extreme wear and tear in this one, so Chris Davis got the bulk of the carries, but again, albeit at a very poor effort. Receiving wise, Jalen Mbakwe doing Jalen Mbakwe things. 10 receptions and 109 yards, and Pat McLaughlin had the crucial touchdown late in the second half in order to kind of swing the game from there. Defensively, again, another stout effort by the unit. Sam Neely and Dylan Stevenson led the team with 9 tackles each. Jalen Sumlin had 8, while Trey Rolden and Sam Mattingly added 6. Rolden also had 5 TFLs, with 4 of those being sacks to lead the team. Quincy Butts, Joe Asian, and Sam Mattingly each added a sack of their own. And then Sumlin had the big crucial pick 6, and Sam Mattingly also added that crucial interception in the second half. So this will be the CFP bracket for the 2027 playoff. And luckily for Clemson, that loss did not cost them a first round bye, as they do slot in at the 4th seed, potentially setting up a rematch in the semifinal. And with that being said, our first playoff matchup will be the number 8 Oregon Ducks, a familiar foe from a former conference opponent. That wraps up today's episode. Please hit that like button and see you guys next time.